Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about the West Asian crisis. If you take the West Asian region, a lot of countries, a lot of problems. For almost 2 decades, it was peaceful. There were no issues in the region. But because of the October 7th attack by the terrorist group, attack on Israel, the entire region has become a sort of turmoil. So this editorial has been written keeping in mind the present scenario in West Asian region. When you ask a question, when you read the editorial, you have to ask a question, what is this about? If you ask a question, what is this about? The editorial is about West Asian crisis. Right now, the situation over there, a very bad scenario, a very bad situation. Now, what is the tone of the editorial? The tone of the editorial is analytical and concerned. Analytical. Analytical means what? Analyzing the present situation and providing the background information. We say analytical. And concerned. Why concerned? Obviously, because of the trigger October 7th attacks on Israel. Subsequent to that, Israel started attacking, and like a chain reaction, many groups, many countries got involved, and a lot of people are being killed. It is in a crisis. Based on that concern, it discusses the escalating regional turmoil. Try to catch these phrases. Escalate, a verb. Escalating, we can use the verb ing form as an adjective. Escalating regional turmoil. We have got the word turmoil many a time. Turmoil means disturbance, a chaotic situation. Political turmoil is a typical combination. Escalating regional turmoil in West Asia, emphasizing the need for a new security equilibrium. A new security balance is required in the region at present, with the Palestine issue at the center. What is the issue that is at the center because of which a lot of actions and reactions? The Palestinian issue that is at the center. So the editorial opines right now we need a solution and there should be a ceasefire so that all this can be stopped immediately. Now we'll see how the editorial starts. Whoever is there, please try to ask a few questions or try to respond when I ask you questions. Then we can make it truly interactive. Regional turmoil, as I said, turmoil means what? A disturbing situation. The meanings are here: a state of great disturbance, confusion, or uncertainty. A state of disturbance, confusion, uncertainty. Regional turmoil. What is the region we are talking about? On the West Asian situation or the West Asian region. But what is the main idea of this editorial? West Asia needs, whenever there is a problem, turmoil is nothing but a problem, a crisis. The editorial talks about the solution. The main idea is about the solution. What is the solution to the present situation? West Asia needs a new security equilibrium, a new security equilibrium, a new security balance, or something that checks all the disturbances, with the Palestine issue at the center. A new equilibrium with the Palestine issue at the center. This is the main idea of the editorial. Here we have two words. Turmoil, I've just given the meaning, a state of great disturbance, and equilibrium, a state in which opposing forces or influences are balanced. In a situation we have opposing forces, they are balanced, then we say equilibrium, everything is balanced. The war on Gaza is no longer about Israel and Hamas. Initially, it started with Israel and Hamas. Now it says, the editorial says, everyone knows that the war is no longer about Israel and Hamas. There's one important expression here: no longer. It is no longer about something. It is no longer safe. It is no longer advisable. You have to create or think of similar patterns, similar expressions that will help in the long run. The war on Gaza is no longer about Israel and Hamas. This is a statement. It apparently, obviously looks like it's a war between Israel and Hamas. But the editorial says it is no longer about these two. no longer about Israel, no longer about Hamas. To substantiate that, it has to provide a lot of facts and figures. All these sentences talk about the same thing. Israel has carried out present perfect tense, has carried out. But in this sentence, there is one phrasal verb. What is it? Carry out. Carry on means continue. Please carry on, continue. But carry out, they carried out the orders, they carried out the project, means execute, to do, to implement. Israel has carried out targeted strikes in Lebanon and Syria, killing Hezbollah, Hamas, and Iranian commanders. It starts with the different events in the region involving different groups, different countries. First one talks about Israel. Israel has carried out targeted strikes in Lebanon and Syria, in that process, killing Hezbollah, Hamas, and Iranian commanders. From southern Lebanon, another fact, from southern Lebanon, Hezbollah is exchanging fire with Israeli troops. This talks about the reaction of Hezbollah. From southern Lebanon, Hezbollah is exchanging fire. Is exchanging fire is present continuous tense. We are doing something, you're listening, I'm explaining, I'm doing the analysis, and it is exchanging fire with Israeli troops. There's only one important phrasal verb here. Carry out means to execute. An important one you have to remember. Iran backed militias in Syria and Iraq have attacked US forces in Syria and Iraq. All these sentences talk about the different things that are going on right now in that region. Attacks. Iran backed militias. Militia, an important word. What does it mean? Militia, part of speech noun. A military force that is raised from the civil population to supplement a regular army in an emergency. We take a few civilians and we train them and they are used in an emergency. That group is called militia. Iran backed militias in Syria and Iraq have attacked US forces in Syria and Iraq. One more development. Next one, the Houthis, the Iran backed rebels of Yemen, have turned the Red Sea into a battlefield. Have turned. I always tell students, we have, when you read the editorial, quite often you come across the present perfect tense. See how many times it has been used, either active voice or passive voice. The Houthis, the Iran backed rebels of Yemen, have changed, have modified, have transformed. Any of these you can think of. The Red Sea. Again, whenever you come across a sea, an ocean, a river, any water body for that matter, you have to recollect the rule that goes with articles. What is the rule? Before any water body, be it oceans, seas, rivers, canals, any of these waterfalls, we have to use a definite article the. The Red Sea, the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. It has turned, or they have turned the Red Sea into a battlefield. Right now, it is a battlefield. The USS, again, you have to be alert. Names of countries, proper nouns. Before proper nouns, we don't use any article. But one of the problems with English, we have rules, we have exceptions. What is a rule? Before a proper noun, we should not use any article. It could be a name of a person or a city or a country. But what are the exceptions? Before the names of some countries, we have to use a definite article the. Two examples everyone knows they don't ask in the exam. What are the two examples? The USA, the UK. But what are the names of the countries that are important from the exam point of view? One is the Netherlands, very important, they've given many a time. The Philippines, the Irish Republic, the UAE. These first three are very important. The Netherlands, the Philippines, the Irish Republic. They have given many a time. You have to recollect that one. The US's airstrikes in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen seek to retaliate against Shia militias. Seek to. I always use a term when I come across students, I say, you're all job seekers. Seek means to search for, look for something that is not ordinary but extraordinary. In this context, something like a job, a dream. To make the dream come true, You are all job seekers. Job seeker, one who is looking for a job. Here, the US's airstrikes in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen seek to. They want to do something, seek to, they try to retaliate. What is the meaning of the word retaliate? Someone attacks you, then you counterattack them. First, someone attacks you. As a response, you attack them. That is nothing but retaliation. Retaliate against the Shia militias, a particular group. Militia, an important word, I've given the meaning already. As chaos and instability spread, Sunni Islamist militants attacked Iran, killing at least 100 people. Another development. Right now, a chaotic situation means complete confusion, and it is spreading like chain reaction from one spot between Israel and Hamas, going in different directions. And here it talks about another development as chaos and instability spread. Two things have been spreading. One is a chaotic situation, the other one instability. Chaos, an important word, it has been given many a time in different competitive exams. Chaos means a confusion, complete confusion, a confused state. As chaos and instability spread, Sunni Islamist militants attacked Iran, killing at least 100 people. In the latest escalation, we all know the word escalators. When you go to an airport today, malls also, you come across escalators. That something that takes you up. You don't have to walk, stand on it. You are taken to the next floor. But escalation, to take something up. In this context, escalation of the tensions means what? The tensions go to a higher level or a different level. It talks about that. In the latest escalation, Iran claims to have destroyed an Israeli intelligence outpost in Iraq's Kurdistan and training camps of Sunni Islamists in Syria and Pakistan in airstrikes. Another development, it talks about the claims by Iran. Iran claims to have destroyed. Here, claims. That means what? The sentence is in present tense. Because the subject is third person singular, S or es we have to add to the verb. In this context, the letter S has been added. Iran claims to have destroyed an Israeli intelligence outpost. Outpost is nothing but a group of soldiers away from the main army, wherever the army is, away from the main army or the main group. Why are they away from them? They are ready to sense a surprise attack, or they are ready to deal with a surprise attack. We use the word outpost. A small military camp at some distance from the main camp to deal with a sudden attack. Outpost in Iraq's Kurdistan and training camps of Sunni Islamists in Syria and Pakistan in airstrikes. It's all about the developments. All these sentences talk about what has been going on right now in the West Asian region. This is now a classic case of regional anarchy. A classic case, you have to remember. Something is a classic case, not the usual thing. Right now, the situation, the scenario, a classic case of regional anarchy. Anarchy is an important word. What does it mean? A state of disorder when there is no controlling power, central authority, that results in anarchy. Anarchy, chaos, turmoil, more or less same meanings. Where countries are taking unilateral military measures, unilateral, bilateral, multilateral. Unilateral means one sided. A country takes a decision and tries to implement unilateral military measures to address. Here, to address, nothing to do with your regular address. Address means deal with. Address the problem means deal with the problem. To address their perceived security challenges. Because of the disturbance, many countries now have become, in that region, have become alert, and they have some sort of apprehensions about the security and safety of the people of that particular country. Perceived insecurity or perceived security challenges, throwing international laws and the idea of sovereignty. Because of these unilateral decisions and implementing certain ideas which don't go with the international norms, throwing international laws and the idea of sovereignty. Sovereignty, supreme power or authority, one meaning. Another meaning of sovereignty, it means something like if you take a country, it is not ruled by some other country, it is on its own and it is an independent politically independent country, then we use the word sovereignty. If you take the preamble of the Constitution, what do you come across? India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Sovereign, no one controls India. The word sovereign, another meaning it has. The bedrock, throwing international laws. Here, previous one talks about incomplete sentence, throwing international laws and the idea of sovereignty. The bedrock of the international system. The bedrock, an important word. Bedrock means what? The principles and ideas on which something is based. International system based on the concept of sovereignty. Very important. Every country has to be a sovereign country. Now, because of the present scenario, the bedrock of the international system, it is being thrown to the wind. Throw to the wind means neglecting, not caring, thereby risking a wider all-out war. When they don't follow the international rules or international laws, and the bedrock of international law is sovereignty, then obviously they throw all these things to wind, means they don't consider. It obviously results in an all-out war. That's what the sentence is, a wider all-out war. The impact of this. Just weeks before the October 7th attack, all this started with October 7th attack by Hamas, attack on Israel. Just weeks before the October 7th attack, Jake Sullivan, the US National Security Advisor, had said, here the reporting verb is in past perfect tense. Usually we have either in past or in present or present perfect or future. For the first time, we have come across the reporting verb in past perfect. Had said, the Middle East is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades. It has been in 2 decades, means from the past to the present. We have to use present perfect tense. It has been, that is present perfect tense. It is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades. Sometime back, the US advisor made a statement. What was that statement? If you take that West Asian region, it has been quieter today than it has been in 2 decades. Means for the last 2 decades, if you look at the present situation, it has been quite quiet. Here, quiet, an important word. You have to recollect quite big means very big. What is the spelling over there? Quite. Quite big. Part of speech adjective. Quiet, quiet, part of speech, quiet place. That is also adjective. But quiet means what? Calm. And quite big means very big. You got to be careful with the spellings and the way you pronounce also, you have to, they change. The Abraham Accords were on a strong footing, and Saudi Arabia and Israel were moving closer towards normalization. Two countries are moving towards normalization. This talks about why it was quiet. The reason behind the Abraham Accords were on a strong footing. On a strong footing, an important phrase you have to remember. Something is on a strong footing means it is very strong, firm, and in place. On a strong footing, and because of that, Saudi Arabia and Israel were moving closer towards normalization, means the tensions being reduced. Iraq had become quieter. Now, to substantiate that statement, for almost 2 decades, quieter than today for almost 2 decades. To substantiate that previous sentence, this sentence also. Iraq had become quieter. Gulf Arabs and Iran had reached a rapprochement, an important word we have got for the first time. Rapport, one word. Rapport means a very good understanding between two persons, but rapprochement, it means, especially in international affairs, you have to know the combinations as well. International affairs and establishment or resumption of harmonious relations. A rapport, harmonious. Rapprochement also means the same. Harmonious means without any disturbance. Iran had reached a rapprochement and a ceasefire was holding in Yemen. Most of these changes, however, ignored the oldest crisis in the region. Normalization for almost 2 decades, but at the same time, one particular issue has been ignored. Most of these changes, however, ignored the oldest crisis in the region. If you take the West Asian region, what is the oldest crisis? Israel's continuing occupation of the Palestinian territories. Israel has been occupying Palestinian territories, and all these changes have ignored that particular aspect. The October 7th attack, Hamas attack, and Israel's subsequent vengeful offensive in Gaza. Vengeful, revenge, avenge, two words you have to recollect immediately. Vengeful, part of speech adjective, seeking to harm someone in return for a perceived injury. It is nothing but retaliation. Revenge, avenge, vengeful, retaliate, more or less the same meanings. The October 7 Hamas attack and Israel's subsequent vengeful offensive in Gaza have not only brought, haven't, this is negative form present perfect, have not only brought Palestine back to the center of West Asia, but also lit fires triggering perhaps the deepest security crisis in the region since 1967. It talks about the October 7th attack by Hamas, attack against Israel, and that has brought into limelight something. What is it? Have not only brought Palestine back to the center. If today, if you look at the West Asian crisis, at the center, what is the problem? Palestinian crisis. Palestine back to the center of West Asia, but also lit fires, lit. Here it is in past, but also lit fires, triggering perhaps, not sure, maybe, the deepest security crisis in the region, West Asian region, since 1967. Present scenario looks like the deepest crisis in the West Asian region since 1967. The involvement of non-state actors. This, at the outset, you may not understand. You may wonder why the word actors here. Non-state actors. I told yesterday also, state has two different meanings. One meaning, we all know Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala, states. That's what we think. But if you talk to a political scientist when he or she say, a political science student, I'm sorry, a political science student, when he or she talks about, uses the word state, they mean a country, a sovereign country, a political independent country. Here, non-state actors means that not the countries, but some groups, the militants and some groups we use non-state actors, nothing to do with acting or the regular actors. The involvement of non-state actors and the absence of an off-ramp complicate matters. Two things complicate matters. One, non-state actors, they started participating in this and they made it more something like bad to worse. And also the absence of an off-ramp complicate matters. After 100 days of war with Hamas, Israel has been waging war for how many days? 100 days. What is the impact? What has it achieved? This sentence talks about that. After 100 days of war with Hamas, Israel has achieved little in Gaza. This is an important expression you have to remember. It has achieved little in Gaza means what? Means what? It has not achieved anything. It has not achieved anything. Little means almost nothing, hardly anything. A little, at least some. The little, whatever is there, or something specific. It hasn't achieved anything. The Houthis, a militia that survived 7 years of Saudi bombing, are unlikely to be deterred by America's strikes. Deter means to prevent someone from doing something, discourage someone from doing something. This word goes with deterrent, the noun form. Nuclear weapons act as a deterrent. Deterrent, an important word. But deter is a verb. Discourage someone from doing something by instilling doubt or fear of the consequences. Imagine today a particular country has nuclear weapons. It cannot afford to use nuclear weapons on its neighbors, and the neighbor also has nuclear weapons. And having nuclear weapons, to have nuclear weapons, this particular situation acts as a deterrent. What is the reason? One country uses nuclear weapons against another country. That country also uses, both the countries get wiped out. It is like looking at the sky and spitting. When we look at the sky and spit, what will happen? It will fall on the face. Using nuclear weapons also same thing. But why do countries go for nuclear weapons? They act as deterrents. So deter is an important word. That word form is important, deterrent. by America's strikes. So the particular group, militia, the Houthis, a militia that survived 7 years of Saudi bombing, are unlikely to be deterred by America's strikes. They will not try to stop, they will not try to hold back. How does the editorial end? I think we have, even though Iran wants to showcase, we have already got the word showcase. Showcase can be a verb, can be a noun. As a noun, when you enter a particular house, the first room is called living room or drawing room, and you see the showcase where you display your prizes or awards or souvenirs. But here, showcase has been used as a verb, means a display, exhibit. Even though Iran wants to showcase strength and boldness, it cannot mask its inherent weakness. Iran wants to be bold, but it cannot hide something. Mask means hide. It's what is that it cannot hide or mask? Its inherent weakness. Inherent, an important word, means inbuilt, intrinsic, inborn, part of someone's personality, inherent weakness, which also makes it unpredictable. Because of this inherent weakness, though it wants to be bold, it cannot afford to do that. And because of that, its actions become unpredictable. Predictable, you can guess, unpredictable, opposite. The old order means old system, anchored by America's domineering regional presence. Anchored means put in firm situation, firm position by America's domineering regional presence. Domineering means what? Asserting one's will over another in an arrogant way. It is nothing but dominating way. Domineering, formal word, dominating behavior, dominating attitude. He is in tatters. In tatters, idiomatic expression, an important one. What does it mean? Destroyed or ruined, torn into pieces. One meaning in tatters means torn into pieces, torn into pieces. But in this context, destroyed or ruined. Now it does not have a dominant role to play in that region. What West Asia needs now, the editor talks about the solution. The main idea is being reiterated. What West Asia needs is a new security equilibrium. As I said, what is the solution for the West Asian crisis? A new security equilibrium. There has to be an immediate ceasefire to have a new security equilibrium. One thing has to be done immediately. What is that? Immediate ceasefire means they have to stop fighting. There has to be an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, and peace between Israel and Palestinians could be used as a springboard for further talks aimed at. They can stop fighting and they have to go in for a ceasefire, and peace between Israel and Palestinians could be used. Possibility. It could be used, talks about a possibility as a springboard. Springboard means what? Something that supplies the conditions for beginning change or progress. Means a platform to bring about the change. Springboard for further talks aimed at a regional security between the main stakeholders. Means those a stakeholder is a party with an interest in an enterprise, typical meaning. But in this context, West Asian region, the countries, they have a role to play, an important role to play. We use the term stakeholders. Regional security between the main stakeholders. Who are the main stakeholders if you look at the West Asian region? Israel, Arab nations, Iran, the US, though it does not belong to that region, and their respective allies and proxies. Proxy is an important word. What is the meaning of the word proxy? The authority to represent someone else, especially in voting. Usually it goes with voting, elections. But here, someone represents or a country represents another country, then we use the word proxy. That's all about this editorial. And no questions from your end. Thank you very much. Who is that? Let us go to today. I have brought, besides a question, now I want you guys to, whoever is there, please respond. The purpose of this session I want you guys to listen to the analysis, improve your comprehension skill. Along with that, whenever you read an editorial, you can improve your comprehension skill, which is essential, indispensable, important for any exam. Because every bank exam there's a passage is based on comprehension skill. Second, to improve your contextual awareness. Today many questions, almost all the questions are based on contextual awareness. Third, you can consolidate your grammar knowledge. Fourth, you can enrich your word power. Editorial vocabulary goes with effective English. Fifth, I bring the words, whatever words you got yesterday, today you can consolidate again. And you come across effective English, idioms, phrasal verbs, all these things. Try to respond. That will be useful in the long run. Try to answer these questions. First five, today I have brought comprehension based questions, error location, para jumble, and phrasal verbs. Four exercises or based on exam topics. First one, what does the editorial identify as the oldest crisis? Editorial identify. Whenever you read a sentence, try to look at the key words as the oldest crisis in the West Asian region. What is it? The war on Gaza, the involvement of non state actors, the October 7th Hamas attack, Israel's continuing occupation of the Palestinian territories. Oldest crisis. What is the oldest crisis? No one has responded. Please respond. I'll wait for a few seconds. If you don't respond, I'll give the answer. 1D. Very good. Who is this? Very good. I appreciate. Lokesh, you're there. Very good, Lokesh. Answer is D. Israel's continuing occupation of the Palestinian territories. They have been working on solutions, but they ignored the oldest crisis. What is it? The occupation. Israel's continuing occupation of the Palestinian territories. Wonderful. Let us go to the second question. Please answer. According to the editorial, what has contributed to the deepening security crisis in West Asia since 1967? Deepening security crisis in West Asia since 1967. The Abraham Accords, the involvement of non state actors, ceasefire in Yemen, Israel's vengeful offensive in Gaza. No, first one answer is D. Now try to answer the second one. What has contributed to the deepening security crisis in West Asia since 1967? No one has responded for the second question. I'll wait for a few seconds. Answer is D again. Israel's vengeful offensive in Gaza. This has contributed to the deepening security crisis in West Asia since 1967. No, it is not the involvement of non state actors, it is Israel's vengeful offensive. Answer is D. Let us go to the next question. What does the editorial suggest as a solution to the current turmoil in West Asia? Suggest a solution to the current turmoil in West Asia. What is the suggestion given by the editorial? Increased unilateral military actions, a wider all out war. It cannot suggest something like this. An immediate ceasefire in Gaza, more targeted strikes in Lebanon and Syria. This is rather easy, should not be a problem. What is the answer for question number 3? 3C. An immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Very good. Answer is C. Let us go to the next one. According to the editorial, what complicates the current situation in West Asia? What complicates the current situation, the current scenario in West Asia? The Abraham Accords, the involvement of non state actors, US National Security Advisor's statement, Israel's achievements in Gaza. This is also an easy one, should not be that difficult. Please mention the question number, then I can respond. If you mention C, because there's a time lag of 20 seconds or 25 seconds, it results in confusion. Mention the question number, then that will be easy for me to make out what exactly you're trying to answer, which question you're trying to answer. 4C, US National Security Advisor statement, no. Answer, what complicates the current situation? It is not the first one. The involvement of non state actors. The key word here, complicates. Two countries fight, no issues, but non state groups also participate. That results in complex situation. Answer is B. The involvement of non state actors complicates the current situation. Answer is B. No problem. You may get some right, you may not get some right. Go to the next one. Question number 5. What event does the editorial cite or quote as perhaps triggering the deepest security crisis in West Asia since 1967? The US's airstrikes in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen, Saudi Arabia and Israel moving closer towards normalization, the October 7 Hamas attack, this is also an easy one, the Houthis turning the Red Sea into a battlefield. But you should be able to answer this one. Perhaps triggering the deepest security. What has triggered the deepest security crisis? One particular incident, one particular event. Which one is that? The October 7th Hamas attack. Very good. Who is this? Maunika got it right. First one to respond. I appreciate that. Now let us go to, as I said, I have brought questions based on one particular editorial. Context, all the questions based on the same context. Parajumble also based on the same context. What is the reason behind? When you work on different exam topics based on a particular context, you understand how they ask the questions and you develop the skill to deal with those questions. Any exam topic based on if this particular approach develops or improves your contextual awareness exam point of view. Read the first one and try to spot the error. Who is this? Lokesh also has got it right. Please look at the sentence. There are 5 parts. No error, choose a 5th option. If there is an error, tell me which part has an error. And if you write why it is wrong, that is very good. I appreciate. The West Bengal proposal was to display the Kanyashree project that served girls in the state. Please mention the question number. The West Bengal proposal, here you may think is to, but do remember the instruction, when you go through the instruction, there is only one error. If you consider this one, then there is one more error. Then you cannot touch that one. We don't know whether present or past. So you have to read the sentence very carefully. The West Bengal proposal was to display the Kanyashree project. Here we have from here to here, it is one clause. And Kanyashree project that served girls in the state. This is the second clause. The second clause talks about a project. Whenever we talk about a project, we talk about its objectives, which are facts. Then we have to use present tense. We cannot use past tense. Based on that, there's an error in the third part. What is wrong with the third part here? Third part, there is an error. We should not say the Kanyashri project served girls in the state. We have to say the project serves. What is the right word here? Serves. I'll write here. Because the clause is about a particular project third person singular, it is in present tense, we should add s or es to the verb. Based on that, served is not correct. We have to say serves. The project serves girls in the state. That is the correct sentence. Nothing wrong with West Bengal proposal, the West Bengal proposal. You can also say West Bengal's proposal. But do remember, whenever you come across a sentence like this, one error should be crystal clear. You should be damn sure. And you have to choose only one error. Here, project, objective, we have to use present tense. Based on that, you feel there's an error here. Don't look at other parts. Go to question number 2. In the case of Delhi, its proposals have been turned off for 3 consecutive years. Where is the error? In the case of Delhi, its proposals have been turned off for 3 consecutive years. Question number 2. Whatever you think you mention, right or wrong, we'll see later. Who is this? Anil says third part. In the case of Delhi, nothing wrong. Its proposals have been turned off. Second part also, its proposals, no problem. But coming to the third part, there is an error. What is the error? Here you have to look at turned off is not correct. What is the phrasal verb here? Turn down. Turn down means a reject, deny, a reject or deny. So what is the correct preposition? The correct phrasal verb. Turn off is not correct. It should be turn down. There's an error in the third part. I appreciate those who have got it right. Go to question number 3. In 2022, Tamil Nadu's tableau, which was themed on the state's role in national movement, did not qualify. Do remember, don't worry about right or wrong, respond. If you respond, obviously, you will learn. Imagine you got it right, you feel very confident and you consolidate your knowledge. If you don't get it right, you learn from your mistake. And next time, based on the same aspect, you will be able to answer. Either way, it is beneficial. But if you don't respond, it is not. It does not make an impact on you or your learning. Question number 3, fourth part. Who is that? First one to Lokesh. Very good. You got it right. In 2022, Tamil Nadu's tableau, nothing wrong, which was themed, 2022 past, which was themed, past, on the state's role in national movement, nothing wrong with this also, did not, what is the word here we have to use? Did not, qualified. There's a problem here. Did not, qualified is not correct. We have to say did not qualify. What is the right word here? Did not qualify. This is past tense negative form. Past tense, interrogative form, negative form, there's a rule. What is the rule? We have to use a past form for the first verb. Did is a past form of do. And for the second verb or main verb, we have to use bare infinitive. What is this called? Bare infinitive. We have to use bare infinitive. To qualify, without to, it is called bare infinitive. There's an error in the fourth part. Go to question number 23. I'm sorry. Question number 4. The BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party, has said, reporting verb is in present tense, present perfect. Then you have to recollect the rule. Said means a statement. What is a rule? If the reporting verb is in present, present perfect, or future, tenses don't change to a corresponding past tense. Try to read the sentence very carefully. The Bharatiya Janata Party has said that as these tableaus were meant for the political promotion of opposition parties, they did not make the cut. They did not make the cut. Answer is no error. Here tenses don't change. Because the reporting verb is in present perfect, these tableaus were meant for nothing wrong, and they did not make the cut. You don't have to touch the clauses. Imagine the reporting verb is in past. They had been meant for and they had not made the cut. Past changes to past perfect. But because the reporting verb is in present perfect, tenses don't change to a corresponding past tense. The last question based on error location should not be that difficult. Please answer question number 5. The Republic Day parade was a combination of patriotism and pomp and an observance of the country's unity and diversity. Whenever you read a sentence, you have to understand, does it talk about past, present, future? What does it try to convey? What is the context about? Based on the contextual awareness, you can answer or spot the error. Tell me where is the error? Now, if you ask the question, what is this sentence about? It is about the Republic Day parade. We have this parade every year, and if someone asks you what is a Republic Day parade, you have to start with it is the display of something. It is. Whenever we define or describe about someone or something, we use present tense. Based on that, here we cannot say was. What is the right word here? Is. It has to be is the right word because we have to use present tense. It is something. It is something. Present, not past. Let us go to the next set of questions. Here you have 5 sentences, parajumble. I will give you a few minutes. Try to go through all the parts and try to get the correct order. I'll wait for a few seconds because you guys are not responding, except one or two. They have been responding. I appreciate them. I want more students to respond. And if you respond, then I know you are going through it. Otherwise, I'll wait for a few seconds. I will give the correct order. And how to get the correct order, I will tell. I'll wait for a few seconds. Whenever you deal with parajumble, you have to get the topic sentence first. Topic sentence means what? The sentence with the main idea. What is this about? Then you have to look for the pairs and broad framework. You should get the correct order. Visual appeal, perhaps it could be. There's a possibility. But what is this about? It is about the Ministry of Defense has an elaborate screening mechanism. It talks about the Ministry of Defense has an elaborate screening mechanism that selects participants per the parade. First one is B. Then comes a question, how do they select? Obviously. And there's a clue for you for the next one. What is the word that acts as a clue? Screening. Look at this one. A committee of distinguished persons drawn from various fields screens proposals. Screening mechanism, and who screens? A particular committee of distinguished persons drawn from various fields screens proposals. Based on what is the second one? BD1 pair. After screening, they have to select. How do they select? Then you have to look at Visual appeal, impact on the masses, theme, degree of detailing, music, and involvement of local artists are the key deciding factors to select something. Based on that, AE, they form a pair. First one talks about the ministry has a mechanism, screening mechanism. Second one talks about who screens, a committee. After that, two sentences talk about on what basis, after screening, on what basis they select the tableaus. What are the criteria? All these come under criteria. And what are you left with? It is an unfortunate turn for a cherished national day that some states feel excluded from it for political reasons. The last one is C. So, what is the correct order? BD, one group, one pair, AE, one pair, and the last one, C is the last one. Let us go to here you have five phrasal verbs, column one, column two, the meanings you have to match. Get over, come around, pass out, throw up, pass away. What are the answers? For each one, you have to write. Again, I'll wait for a few seconds. If you respond, wonderful. If you don't respond, I'll give the answers. But I want you guys to respond. Right or wrong, don't worry. If you get everything right, you're not a learner. You can start teaching. Very simple. And don't hesitate. Don't worry about will I get it right. No one is going to question, but you learn something from your response. Get over. No one has responded. I'll wait for a few seconds, then I'll give the answers. My pleasure, Lokesh. But try to respond. Here, get over means to recover. Answer is get over a disease, a fever. Come around means to become conscious. Come around to become conscious. Pass out means to become unconscious. D is the answer. Throw up means to vomit. B is the answer. Pass away to die. Many students know that. I will repeat. Get over a fever means to recover from a fever. Come around means to become conscious. Pass out, opposite to become unconscious. Throw up to vomit. Pass away to die. Oh, you have responded. So I appreciate that. Oh, for phrasal verbs, I see the response. Very good. Mm. Good. Keep it up. I appreciate. These are the words we got yesterday. I will leave it like that for a few seconds. Try to write the answers. Part of speech already I have mentioned. Write the meaning of yesterday from based on yesterday's editorial. We got about 15, more than 15, but I brought 15 important words from yesterday's editorial. Already you listened to me, you got the words and meanings. All that you have to do, write the key words so that you can consolidate your editorial vocabulary. That's all for today. Thanks for being with me till the fag end of the session. Have a nice day. I will see you guys tomorrow. My only request, do respond. Don't worry about whether you're going to get it right or wrong. Don't worry about that. Enjoy participating, enjoy responding. You get it right, be happy, feel confident, consolidate. You get it wrong, learn from your mistake, you never forget, and that also helps you. Either way, it is beneficial. By being a silent spectator or a listener, only a listener does not help in the long run. Active participation is very important. Thank you very much.